Welcome to another episode of Financial Fitness. I'm your host, Donald Raymond. Today, we talk about holiday season prep. Are you ready? As we are entering into yet another holiday season, it is again an opportunity to interact with your budget and make sure that you know exactly how well you have prepared for the upcoming season of travel, gifting, giving, food, decor, and everything else that comes along for the ride during this fun and fast-paced time of year. It's possible that you discover that while you had planned to have a certain amount of money saved for this season, you might find that you're right on track. Maybe you're a little ahead, or maybe you're a little bit behind your goal. And that's okay. But it's important to discover this as soon as possible, while there's still time to course correct if necessary. This year may become somewhat demanding, as we're exiting a time of quarantine and virtual connections, and all looking forward to some face-to-face, in-person, social interaction for the holidays. If you look at last year's travel budget, though, to make this year's budget, you will likely find that this triggers a bit of anxiety, as last year, I would guess, was essentially non-existent due to the travel restrictions and everyone taking necessary precautions to stay safe in the ever-changing COVID environment. For this reason, last year is not a good example to use when building this year's plan and future plans. With Thanksgiving just 14 days away, the time to review is now to get your plans ironed out as much as possible and identify as much of the expected spending as you can. This exercise can look different for everyone, but it is a cash flow analysis at its core. Create a 10-week calendar and give yourself a place for income and expenses, as well as the remaining balance. Then, you simply fill in the blanks. You start to add or subtract from the remaining balance for each week, tracking both income and expenses during this time. This should give you a good forecast of what to expect during these next several weeks as things get busier and the money starts moving even faster, and without as much focus with all of the distractions from the season of fun, family, and feast. This is also an opportunity to remind yourself that perfection is the enemy. You won't get it right, and you may not have every expense identified. Even if you do, you may not know the exact amount for each, and this is to be expected. It's no different than any other month when preparing a budget. Do your best and make the necessary adjustments as you go. When you begin the process, however, there is one thing that you do know with complete accuracy. You know exactly how much you currently have to spend on the holiday season. If you're just getting started and haven't been planning ahead this year, then this is your opportunity to make a radical change that will positively impact your financial fitness going into next year. If your plan was to use credit cards or other loan products to ride out the season and then pay off the balance during the first several months of next year, then you have an opportunity to make some adjustments right now and stack away as much as possible for the holidays and commit to being creative and finding low-cost and no-cost activities that you can do with your friends and family and gifts to give them to ensure quality time and enjoy each other without the need for unnecessary spending. Now, this is radical, and it may be a little scary for anyone who defines this time of year with a number rather than a feeling or a tradition. Now, that may sound harsh, but it is a far too common response during coaching sessions and group calls when polling the participants on what single word comes to mind when describing the holidays. You might expect to hear joy, fun, laughter, singing songs, or cooking. But the word that is most commonly quoted is debt, or sometimes spending, and even the word regret. It seems to be a growing trend, and the discussion focuses more on the things that are purchased or the many ways to finance the purchase to help offset the initial buyer's remorse in hopes that joy can be found from the gift. And this pattern can be found all year long among the hundreds of millions that use credit and financing products to justify a purchase that is unplanned or unnecessary. During the holidays, however, this behavior is amplified and happens more often and faster. In other words, with less thought, planning, and intention. This, as you can imagine, is a self-fulfilling prophecy and causes anxiety, stress, family conflict, depression, and a host of other unhealthy side effects. For all of these reasons, I want to encourage you to change your behaviors in order to avoid all of these negative side effects. In episode 5, I said that you need to align your goals with your values and your actions with your goals. If you think about the holidays and your actions in the past, do they follow this formula? Or is this an opportunity to align your goals, values, and actions during the holidays? I can assure you that if you put just a little effort into making this holiday season one of quality time rather than the best gift, you will find more joy, less stress, and a better focus on what really matters, without the distractions of a worldly view that focuses on how your gift compares to someone else's gift, or how your life compares to those around you. You will find peace and observe moments of happiness in the small things that happen every day while you're with those that you love. You will see a smile, a look. You will smell all the holiday scents that linger while a meal is being prepared and far after it is consumed. The conversation will be more uplifting, and the food might even taste just a little bit better this year. All because you can focus on the small things without worrying about how long it will take to bounce back from the typical holiday spending patterns that cause the anxiety I mentioned before. So, if anxiety and worry are the result of the actions most typically taken during this time of year when it comes to how we spend our time and finances, then how much more joy can be found by refusing to enter into that reality ever again? You can make a decision today to forever change your experience during the holidays and start being fully present with your family and friends, making memories instead of mounting anxiety, and enjoying fun traditions or creating new ones that cost little to no money at all. When you reflect on this holiday season, let it be a time of celebration, and let this year be the year that you refuse to ever let your money control your actions again. Instead, align your actions with your goals in support of your values, and tell your money how to support this new healthy habit. If you can apply this concept to the holidays, then the rest of the year is a piece of cake, and your financial fitness level will continue to improve. So how do you respond to the question that I answered above? What one word do you associate with the holiday season? You might not use any of the words that I listed, and for those that don't and have positive examples, I applaud your commitment to focusing on what really matters: family, friends, and faith. For anyone who does associate with the answers provided above, debt, spending, and regret, I encourage you to make a decision right now to change your habits when it comes to how you financially interact with the holidays. Remember that there is no amount of money on earth that can replace a memory or buy something more lasting than time with those you love. You will spend money to travel and to capture memories or create an experience, but remember that no one who is truly important to you cares how much money you spend. They care that you are there and that you put your whole self into the time you spend together. Money can do a lot of things, and as you continue to budget and spend your money intentionally, you will find yourself in a position to spend more of it on things like the holidays. But I can guarantee that once you experience the joy found from focusing on memories and time together, rather than how much you can buy and give, you will likely choose not to use the money on temporary things, but rather continue to focus on the time, and maybe use the money on a common charity or a way to give back to the community, or maybe even help someone in need. Now, maybe not, but challenge me on this, and try to spend less money and more time this year, to be more present in all the moments that only come during the holiday season. Remember, this is an ever-changing landscape, and you can't expect to plan every detail perfectly. There will be tense moments, unexpected costs, and unplanned activities. But if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And while failure will surely be the road to success, inaction removes the opportunity to fail. So make a plan. 10 weeks of cash flow to be updated as often as necessary. This should be done in addition to your regular monthly budget, but it will overlap and give you another filter to look down the road a bit and make those micro adjustments along the way. Enjoy this season and make it a time to focus on what really matters. For anyone who may be alone this time of year, I encourage you to follow this same strategy and find ways to experience true joy from the actions taken. If you know someone who is alone, invite them into your holiday traditions. You never know just how much of an impact you may have on someone's life. So extend the offer, and even if they decline, it may be the little glimmer of light they needed this year. And maybe it's exactly what they needed to start making positive changes in their future. Don't be surprised if someone who declines an offer to spend time together during the holidays shows up next year and wants to know how you were able to avoid the holiday stress. You may not realize how many people look up to you or follow your example, but I assure you that you are a mentor to someone. So be an example of how you want to be seen, and it will have a positive impact on your life too. As I reflect on years past, it's hard not to regret some of the time and energy wasted on negative feelings. However, without that experience, I may never have had the motivation to make positive changes in my life that had ripple effects for me and for those around me. So while regret is a common emotion, I would encourage anyone who has a similar response to see this as an opportunity and as the motivation to move away from those reminders of past habits that created negative outcomes, and to move toward a habit and a focus that will provide a different experience, a positive experience. Remember that the goal is to be different. So if being the same causes anxiety, stress, and depression, that is far too common, then being different can help you find joy, empathy, and even courage. It will help you strengthen relationships and will become the fuel that carries you into the next year with a focus on better financial fitness. As each year gets a little bit better and you find more ways to create positive and lasting memories, you will start to notice that the financial muscles being used are getting stronger and stronger. When this happens, anything is possible. Happy holidays. So what are some practical takeaways for you that can help make this year more intentional and less stressful? Well, here are a few examples to help get you started. Create a 10-week budget or cash flow analysis to represent all of the income and expenses ahead of time. This will remove anxiety in the moment because you will have already had a chance to react and make adjustments if you feel they are needed. Make a shopping list, or 2, or 3, or 4. Plan your shopping, because planning helps with the budgeting exercise and also removes the temptation to buy from the millions of ads and clickbait that you will be exposed to over the next several weeks. Get creative. Focus more on how to connect with your family and friends rather than what to get them. I know lots of families that do this already, and growing up, I was even jealous of friends who talked about things they were going to do together during the holidays and didn't expect to give or receive a gift at all. As a kid, that seemed really cool. And now looking back, I have a deeper appreciation for what motivated their parents to take those actions. Do your research. When preparing to buy a gift, make sure you know exactly what you are buying and how much you should be and are willing to spend on it. This should come as no surprise and is exactly what we teach throughout the year. But this time of year, there are even more options and opportunities to be misled or make an impulse purchase without all the info. So when you do purchase, make sure you are intentional and informed before buying. No matter how urgent things start to feel, take a breath and remember your plan. Even consult with your plan and make adjustments before making a decision to ensure you have given proper consideration to the options and the impact of your decision. Oftentimes, an urgent feeling can result in a reaction to make a change that could have a financial impact. And that is not being intentional with your money. That is when your money is telling you what to do. So these are just a few examples, but I hope it provides some practical actions for you to take this holiday season. Do it right, and I can say with full confidence that you will create some of the best memories and go through this holiday season with more joy and happiness than you may have experienced in past years. If you are already focusing on the good stuff, that's great. You are likely already following many of the suggestions that I've covered. And if not, then I would suggest that you can have an even bigger impact on others during the holiday season and perhaps all year long if you apply these ideas to your situation. Have a great holiday and feel free to challenge these principles, because if you do, I know you will have the best season yet.